Hello everybody, welcome back to Wappelville. Haven't really done too much in the way of Space Marines in a very long time, practically almost a year. Now we'll do some Mars Black, Van Dyke Brown down here. I think up here it's mostly just going to be indigo. I also do have some Ultramarine blue. Yes, that's the Ultramarine blue from Williamsburg. Of course, that stuff is pretty potent stuff. Hey there, Megan. Hey, Paint Liquor. So Megan, I hope that you're doing well. It was a bit of a crazy day today. Mostly was sleeping for quite a bit of it actually. Ended up doing lots of sleeping today. Ended up and even then still kept falling asleep. It's not like we don't need to catch up on about 20 years of sleep. Yeah, Megan, I wanted to do something pretty quick. We haven't done any 40K stuff in, well, almost a year. So I thought, well, maybe we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Again, sorry about the voice. For whatever reason, it's acting weird tonight. Not sure why that is. And I didn't really talk at all during the day either. I guess we'll just have to talk through it here and see how that goes. Because I also was hoping to be able to film something later on, but if the voice is going to do this, that could be difficult. So here all I'm doing is just throwing in some of that Mars Black. So Megan, hopefully you guys didn't have too much more of the ice stuff or anything like that to deal with. So nice to see you, Paint Liquor, of course. Hope that you're doing well. Let's get let's just go in with the indigo, maybe a little bit of the Ultramarine here. That's a little more thinner than what I was wanting to put in there, but whatever. Is what it is. Hey, Harumpfenstein, how you doing? Harumpfenstein, it's unfortunately nothing really helps. It's the way of things here. Whenever I have a cold, it will take the voice sometimes weeks to recover. It's just kind of how it is. I have a cough drop right now. I've been drinking actually I just took a sip of the hot tea right before we started, but unfortunately, just the voice is what the voice is. Well, I'm glad that you were able to have some fun doing that today, Paint Liquor. Hey, Dat Moon, how you doing? So yeah, unfortunately, again, with the voice, it's just going to be crazy. That's just kind of how it is. And there's really nothing that can help it. Tried all the different cough medicines and stuff. Last year after Adepticon, it took almost 6 weeks for the voice to sound anything close to normal. Let's just keep going with this again. That's the some of the Ultramarine blue and some of the indigo here, and then we'll wipe this away like usual. Hey there, Laminess. Well, Dat Moon, I'm glad you're able to get a couple of commissions things done if you wanted to post any pictures of stuff. So Harumph, how have your speaking of painting projects, how have you been doing with your painting stuff? I hope that you've been able to keep going with projects that you have there. And it will probably, well, either go with the red on the bolter here, or if we'll just go with the usual gray. But the pre-glaze here is going to be about as simple as you can get. And yeah, okay. And we'll grab our makeup sponges here, and we'll just take some of this away. Hopefully the printing has gone well today, Laminus. I did not even have a chance to get close to the printer today. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know. It's just, we've been trying to get Kathy recovered. Yeah, we'll keep going with the, again, I don't care if some of the blue-ish stuff gets down there. Is what it is. Hey, Nessie, how you doing? Yeah, if you want to link your Instagram there, that should work out just fine. So, hey, Nessie, how you doing? I thought I've got these 3D prints right here. I figured I would just hit another one of these. Again, where's our Howling Griffin here? Here he is. So this was the latest chapter studies that we did. Thought, well, let's just because I know we can finish one of these pretty quick. Hey there, Velfera. So everybody please check out the Dat Moon runes, the commissions there. Oh, I'm glad that you're getting those successful prints there, Laminess. Herumpenstein, actually, if you wanted to post, same thing there, if you wanted to post any work in progress or completed miniatures that you have, if you wanted to post those in the chat or something like that, feel free and go ahead and do that. Yeah, Valfera, I was actually, Nessie got to see the Payne's Gray last night. Or was it the night before? I know, actually, now of course it was the Williamsburg variety, which is a little bit different. Not quite the Winsor Newton stuff. Again, just to bringing back some of the darks here. And then we'll go back around the other way. And start to put in some of our mid-tones here. I think we're just about caught up. There we go. And everybody please check out the link that Grundy just posted. And of course, Megan. Now, I saw Queez was playing a game today, right? I don't know. I only saw the one picture of the game, so I don't know if it was a decent game, a successful one. Hopefully it was. So yeah, Grundy, unfortunately, Kathy caught something at the last treatment session, which we're now finding out you can get anything from those treatment sessions. And that's from the nurses too. We thought maybe it was just somehow she caught something from another patient that maybe touched something that she touched, but now we kind of have it confirmed that no, even it can even break through the personnel too, which she then passed on to me, which was not super handy. Especially since I had gone basically 2.5 days with no sleep trying to take care of her. So that was going to have an impact on me. So you can see how we're starting to get some of our some of our lights back into this now. Basically some some mid-tones here. Yeah, let's hit this too. Well, I guess we'll do we can always do the yellow on the trim, on the shoulder pads. So Laminus, are you still painting out the same batch that you were trying to paint out last night there, or are you on to a new batch? Again, I wish I could have gotten the printer back up and running again, but not so much, right? Thanks so much, Velfair, appreciate that. So that is the same stuff that we have been using the last, well, actually the last couple of weeks. Yeah, there was one point my throat was so sore that I actually couldn't eat for, what, 2 days? Something like that. Yeah, I think there was 2 days where I couldn't eat. Basically all I did was, well, pretty much just drink this stuff. So you're actually, okay. Hey there, Landrest, how you doing? So Grundy, we also found out that once you've been through a certain amount of sessions, one of the chemo drugs, you start having allergic reactions to it, and unfortunately, all of the Benadryl and stuff that's given early on. So by the time you're getting this one, the Benadryl's not effective anymore. Landress, this will be just a quick one right here, because I really do have to try and film something afterwards. It would be mostly a basing video. That's something I think that I could manage quickly. So, Wilfer, I hope that you're doing okay. I don't know if you guys had another little session at Chez Landrast again. So I think you could see how that's quickly started to develop here. Here we need a little reflected stuff over there. And like I said, we'll be doing our usual blendy stuff here as well. Just want to throw this stuff out here first. And then we can take our blending brush to it like we usually do. Working on some April minis there. And of course, Kelly Goblin, if you wanted to share anything there in the chat. And of course, Grumdy, hopefully you've had a chance to share some of your fantastic, like your Daughters of Cain, 5-time army, best painted army. To the point where now can only be a judge because victorious so many times. Now, thanks, Belly. It's very, very, very simple. It just it was an indigo pre-glaze through some of the this is the the Williamsburg Ultramarine blue over the top of that, and now we're going in with some of the radiant blue, letting that mix like so. You can see how that's getting darker on the end of the brush. That is our pre-glaze. That's actually mixing it with this new color here. Yeah, so now now Grumdy has to run the paint competition instead of being able to participate in it. Victorious too many times. Crushing all the enemies there. Yeah, let's get some more of our lighter blue right over here too. And we haven't forgotten, we're gonna shift that more towards say like a yellow or gold. Yeah, I guess that we should get these a little bit lighter too. Why not? Alright, let's see if we can find something that we can use as a blending brush here, like this maybe. And all we're going to do to blend this is just again just a little tap, tap, tap. That's all it is. More of a tap, tap, tap here. Hey Deuce, how you doing? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm going to actually take a little bit more of this right here. Thank you so much. Yeah, Grumdy, it's just unbelievable, right? What's possible. And all the wild color combos that you can do without even having to think about it, because you don't have to think what colors you're mixing, because they just mix on their own, sort of like what's happening right here. And here was last night's again. This was this is a Conquest miniature. You can see just how big that thing is, and some very quick object source lighting there on this guy. So thank you so much, appreciate that, everybody. Let me get the... Yeah, we're gonna need to do some blending right over here. Some tap, tap, tap. Same over here. Hey, K of Envy, how you doing? Nice to see you back. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's going to be kind of a bit of an up and down. With the voice today was just more of a crazy day with it, and it'll just be like that. Not sure why it's been acting up more tonight than it certainly has the last couple of nights. Here we go again, just letting that all mix together nice and easy. So everybody, please check out Kelly Goblin's link there. So Ballight, if you have, if you've got an Etsy page or anything like that that you wanted to share in the chat there, if you've got a 3D printing service and it's something that could help people out that maybe they don't have a 3D printer of their own or anything like that, if you want to put that out there, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, they were the brushes from from Lethal Shadows, those metal brushes. The very first thing was they were just way too heavy. Being metal, they weigh a ton, so they got really out of balance when you hold them, well, the way we want to be holding our brushes. And again, it wasn't really exactly a surprise to me that that happened. I was kind of expecting that. And that is definitely a challenge there, Kelly Goblin. So I salute you for also having the option for folks who are overseas, so that they can still get their prints too. Gee, I guess I could have in my title. I guess I could have put 40K in my title. Usually I don't do that because, well, we're not usually doing some 40K stuff. Yeah, Grundy, it's really weird. The idea is that you screw off the tip and you put another tip in there, so you can change the sizes of the tip or something like that. It makes them weigh a ton, as you can imagine, because that's not some lightweight material either. They are really, really heavy. And they get out of balance in a real hurry, unfortunately. And there was just a couple other and then the bristles are soft too. That's the other thing, as they're very soft, smushy bristles, which that's also that's going to be another problem right there for sure. We need the stiffer bristles. Well, like the Velvet Touch have. So it wasn't really a huge surprise. A couple of folks that have used them before. Actually, Tea Kettle, haven't you used the Lethal Shadows brushes, the ones with the interchangeable tips and all that? I know Halligan has, and he said that they were going to weigh a ton, and that the bristles were also going to be very smushy. And he was not kidding. They were very smushy. So Tea Kettle's been using them for a couple of months. Now again, if you're looking for a brush that has a much softer bristle, well, then those will work fine for you, because they definitely have a soft bristle. Holy smoke, yeah, Grundy, those are, woof. To me, they're not even craft brushes. Yeah, those, again, it's kind of the trying to do something that, I don't know. Again, maybe it's supposed to save space or make them more travel compatible or something like that. I don't know. That whole idea of brushes that come apart like that, that's not really going to be my thing. So they're still going strong. Oh, and Ballot actually won the giveaway of them today. And again, everybody, please give Tea Kettle a follow if you could, please. And of course, Tea Kettle, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to post any links of your stuff in the chat at all. Actually, I do have some of my fluorescent orange out here still. Maybe I could even use some of that. Well, what the heck, let's get a little bit lighter here too with this. Back to more of a yellow here. And then we'll have to let some of that set. It's not going to dry, but it is it is going to set. So Nessie, hopefully you're in pretty good shape for Adepticon. I hope everybody's in good shape for Adepticon. I know a lot of people trying to finish contest stuff. I know there's lots of different painting contests going on at Adepticon. Let me see if I can just get my little bit of light there. We need to do the same on the other side here. So everybody, please check out the Instagram link there from Tea Kettle. And then, of course, please give Tea Kettle a follow if you could. Just trying to take away a little bit of paint from the brush. There we go. Let's see. So we're just almost done with the last of the tournament figs there. That is fantastic. Now, did you get into all the events that you wanted to, or was because I know there was some craziness with the web card and stuff because for whatever was going on there. So I know that there were some folks that did not necessarily get the things that they were looking to get into. Oh, no problem, Tea Kettle. Always want to give all of our fellow streamers the shout outs and such. I do apologize for being a little bit more brain dead here lately. Okay, let's maybe we can start to here, let me get this, some of the radiant violet. We actually need to get some blue on his fingers there. I'm glad you're able to get into your one event there. Thanks, Tea Kettle. Appreciate that. Yeah, her voice is, well, definitely way worse than mine. Now, that part of it is she tried to push it way sooner than I did. So I was still in basically no talking mode. And I think she tried doing a hangout. And that really, that messed up her voice quite a bit. Whereas for me, I didn't even bother trying to talk for days and days and days because I knew it was, well, it was pretty much a hopeless situation anyways. So there was no point in stressing it even more. So see that? Look at how easy it is to just be able to let that mix on its own. But again, glad that people were able to get into the things that they wanted to get into. Yeah, Grumdy, I don't know. I think you can just kind of enjoy. Well, I was sort of looking forward to maybe being able to be there and not actually have to do the classes, so that we could just kind of hang out at Fort Wappel and such. And of course, well, we would have certainly had plenty of Lord of the Rings figures around, wouldn't we? Let me see if I can. Oh yeah, this needs to be switched around a little bit here off of the blue. We have to actually warm up that gray. Got some of the Van Dyke brown here. And our radiant violet there. Now I think these might actually be intercessors, and again, this is a 3D print, and apparently I do have regular Marines. I think actually I was able to print out some just regular Primaris Marines. I thought this was their regular Primaris Marine, but no. And I see that it's not Barkax, it's I can't remember what it's called, but they actually have some Eldar figures that I might get. So thanks for the donation there. I might try to grab those Eldar figures because they might be a little bit easier. I think they're going to be a little bit beefier than the other ones that I had gotten. And it might be easier to get those printed out. Because I know that people were wanting me to do an Eldar painting series. We definitely need to break it in here. They need to get some more of a light here. Down here. Sneak in some more over here too. And Grumby, hopefully not too many painting classes, of course. And it's understandable. I know there's folks that really, I mean, they chock their schedule filled with painting classes. Because you never know if certain people might ever be there again, or you'll be able to get back there again. So it is understandable. Let's see what we want to do on the... I guess we'll try and lighten that up a little bit too. So very, very simple here. It's just the radiant blue right now. Radiant blue and the ultramarine blue. Again, that's the ultramarine blue from Williamsburg. It's the same ultramarine blue that we used on the what were they? Northern Alliance ship? Yeah, Northern Alliance ships. Oh, and Grumdy, I have a bunch of these prepped. I just got to do the water effects things on the bases, then we can paint those up. So I'm hoping maybe for Armada Monday. Yeah, Grumdy, I mean, sometimes people, they've got their entire weekend is just back-to-back wall-to-wall classes. And it's almost like you're in tournaments, right? There's no time to eat or anything like that in between them, because the next class is starting. Of course, one solution for being in a tournament and not having any time to eat is just play Tomb Kings, because all the games are going to go so fast. You'll have more than enough time to eat and hang out and do all kinds of stuff. At least that's how it worked out for me. Yes, indeed. Pretty much every single game was over by the first turn. One of them, the entire game only took about 22 minutes to play. So that gave me about 2 hours and 12 minutes, or 2 hours 18 minutes, something like that, to walk around, look at stuff, and eat food. And let's keep going with our lighter. And we can, well, sorry, we can definitely go lighter than this. Can definitely go lighter than this. Do we want to? Yeah, let's get some of our light there. Lighten this up some more. And this is actually two separate panels, it looks like. Let's see if we can get some more more light over here on the power pack. Yeah, a couple of areas really need it. Yeah, Grumdy, and it's funny because Lost Kingdom certainly has a whole bunch of Tomb King stuff. I did print out a fair amount, but oh my gosh, it's very dainty. Well, it's like all Lost Kingdom stuff. It is extremely dainty. But that's the bright side of Tomb Kings, was that your games are not going to last very long. You won't be able to cast any magic, which means you won't be able to move anywhere, which means your stuff will just be out there getting charged and blown away. So the game will not take very long to complete. I mean, the downside is that you will have spent more time painting your miniatures than you'll ever get to spend actually playing games with them. That's just the one minor downside of playing the Tomb Kings. I think we need some. Oh yeah, we're just trying to work in some of this lighter blue here. We're gonna also have to make sure that we come in with our blending brush here. I mean, we could even utilize this as a micro blending brush here, like that. Now, any brush can be a blending brush. Hey, Sarge. Hey, Denethor. Nice to see you back again. Thank you so much, Sarge. Appreciate that. I think as we get down this thing, I'm finally starting to get to the actual honey that I put in there. As I'm looking at them, like, I know I put honey in this thing, not really tasting it so much. But I think maybe as I get down towards the bottom, we'll actually be able to taste that. So, Sarge, I hope that everything's going great there. Nice to see you again, of course. Yeah, I mean, I will just, I guess, do a little bit of reflected light there. Oh, thanks, Sarge. This was Green Stuff World texture roller, and then a bunch of Make It Epic stuff here. That too. Absolutely love the Make It Epic stuff. Whether it's the sci-fi, whether it's fantasy stuff. So hopefully everything going well there, Sarge. Wasn't sure if hopefully over this weekend here you'll be able to get a chance to work on some things. Let me make sure that we have the paint off of that thing, and again we're just going to do a little bit tap 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 here. Same over here. So instead of a big old line there, we want that to be more of a shape, not so much a line. There you go. So again, great to see you there, Sarge. Come back at this again. We're using this as my blending brush here. Oh, and by the way, 45 minutes ago, this had no paint on it whatsoever. It was completely paint-free. Doesn't matter whether it's fantasy or 40K, doesn't matter. We're going to approach it the same way. It's going to be the pre-glaze. We're going to take our filbert brushes, do some of that lighter stuff over the top, and then start to come back in and then start to do some detail things. So next weekend is the 40. Sorry, Sarge, I was spacing on that. I'm thinking, I don't believe this is the weekend where things can get done. Sorry about that. I'm just having a little bit of a brain issue here today. There was actually lots of sleeping today. I've got these little vents here. I should probably catch a little light right around those. And this, we're actually going to come back in with some of our dark too. I mean, we can do that. It's not like it's a zero-sum game where all we're going to do is just make things lighter and lighter and lighter. Nope, we can also bring back some darks too. Have to start thinking about the fingers there. And hopefully it's be a nice quick drive home from work. You'll be able to get yourself some nice chow. Relax just a bit. So Denethor, I started painting this 47 minutes and 22 seconds ago. And it was the usual. Again, it was just some gray primer. But just like all of those ring wraiths that I've been painting on stream. So again, we're just going to plop that lighter color there. Grab our blending brush here. And as you can see, no need for a whole bunch of layers, right? No need for layers. Hashtag no layers. Same over here. No sharp edge there now. Same here. Let's see. So hey, Ball GM, how you doing? Nice to see you. Here, why don't we get a little bit more of our light down there? It's, the reflected light there. Yeah, we need some over here too. Some here. Oh, what the heck, I'll go a little bit further with it. And then we'll just let everything that's there just mix in with that. There we go. Oh, hey Marcus, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, it has been almost, actually, I think it's been over a year since we did this little chapter here. We did 5 of them. And actually, was it this one? Yeah, I think this one was, I did a 3-part video series on this one. This was very fun. So, I just didn't realize it had been that long since I last did any sort of Space Marines on stream. So, now we got some. Sarge, that sounds just fine to me. I have no problem with that. Actually, there's been an extreme lack of food over the last couple of weeks, that's for sure. I think pretty much starting over the next day or two, that's going to be changing very significantly. Thank you so much, Bold GM. Appreciate that. Here, we'll get some of this going again. That is what we've been using all along, the lemon ginger tea. Infused with some of the honey there. Yeah, Grim, actually here is, we did do a, where the heck did he go? He was here, he is. So we did do a chapter study with Smurf Marines, so that is one of our Patreon videos right there. And you can see there's, see they got some green reflected on our gold trim there. We'll be doing the same thing on this one as well. And again, we are just a few minutes into this here, just getting underway. Now, see, that's another crazy hard edge there. We don't want that. See how that just went away in no time at all. Hey there, bench guy, how you doing? Thank you so much. I think what I might do here is snag a little bit of our, that's just our ginger ale right there. Thank you so much, bench guy. Well, geez, happy birthday there, bench guy. Sorry that it's gonna be you're gonna have to play injured on that celebration there. But well, happy birthday, everybody. Wish bench guy a happy birthday in the chat. Again, sorry that you can't kind of just have some fun on your birthday without having to worry about that too. But I think we've done, what, 9 chapter studies. It all started with the Imperial Fists. Then we did Blood Angels, Dark Angels, the Smurfs. We did Iron Hands. We did Salamanders. And then we did the Howling Griffins. So I think it's been, oh wow, it's been years since I last used them. I think I've maybe used them a little bit occasionally here and there on some sort of a terrain or a basing project or something like that. But I really haven't used them since. And the last time there was any new paints was, I think, when the line first came out. Thank you so much, bench guy. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. So now I'm starting to get a little bit more of the lemon in that. Now that we're getting down more towards the bottom of that. So again, just using the blending brush here. I can use it over here too. See, we can just take that. We don't want that hard line. So a little bit of tap, tap, tap here. Fades that line out. There we go. Like so. So now, Planeswalker, do you have a whole bunch of that line, or do you have a few here and there? Like I said, it's been a long time since I last used the Pro Acryl stuff. Thanks, Grumdy. Appreciate that. And Grumdy, of course, there's more people in the chat, so if you wanted to share your fabulous army painting links there, thank you so much. So people can see what is possible with the oil paints, painting armies, of course. So Grumdy, I always use you as an example for folks that, you know, they're wondering how durable the oils are, and they are incredibly durable, right? Massively durable. So much more durable than acrylics. Oh yeah, I can definitely go later up here. More here. But yeah, we should get the little touch of our light down there too. Yeah, Grumdy, it's just amazing. And I know even with plastic miniatures, there's been times where, you know, maybe I might have missed a spot, a primer here or there, something like that, brushing it on, and it just covers right over that and sticks to the miniature, no problem. Let's see if I can lighten this up a little bit more here. Again, up around the helmet area. Yeah, let's get some more light going here. So again, thanks for everybody for all the bits and the subs and the cheers. Those really mean a lot. So KF Envy, this will most likely be dry by tomorrow. The thing from last night, that's basically dry. I mean, this hasn't even been 24 hours and it's essentially dry. Canvas paintings, that's going to take a long time to dry because you're shoveling that paint on there. I mean, some of those guys, they got paint piled on there an inch thick or something like that. So it's no wonder it takes a long time for that to dry. Now, cadmium colors will take longer to dry. That's just the nature of the beast. Something like reds can sometimes also take a little bit longer to dry. But yeah, something like this guy here, this should be dry tomorrow. Now, Real Denethor, there's definitely no comparison. Now that I've been painting paint my armies for years and years and years with the oils, it's not even close. You can practically scratch the acrylic paint off with your hands. So Deuce, I painted that one last night. So yeah, all you have to do is just, now obviously I'll be making a highlight out of it later on. But for the next couple of weeks, it'll be a VOD. And again, with the oils, where less is more is way too much. We use very, very, very little paint. You don't need a whole ton of it. Let me see if I can. I think I'm just going to actually get myself some more of my Indian. Yeah, I guess this is the Williamsburg Indian Yellow. There we go. And again, KF Envy, you want to minimal amounts of paint. And we do that, the thing right where we throw the paint down there, we wipe it off with the sponges, then we use the filbert brushes to come back in and create some mid-tones. me see, is this going to be dark enough here? I think so. Yeah, here we're just, again, we're letting the oils do the work there. I don't need to be doing a whole bunch of work, that's for sure. So yeah, Deuce, that was, it's monstrous, right? Just like the other Conquest horsies. I mean, these things are huge. Holy smokes. And this was even bigger than one of these Wardoon riders here. I mean, look at how big that thing is. Holy smokes. Pretty sure that base is 55 or 50 millimeters, something like that. So yeah, just like Grundy was saying there, you just really want as little paint as possible on that brush. Now, of course, oils, they are the opposite of acrylics. So your lighter colors, those are going to be your opaque colors. And the darker colors, generally, those are going to be more along the translucent side. And you also, we just plop the paint on there and push it around, right? Like what we're going to do here, we're just going to plop that stuff on there and then push it around. We need to do a similar thing over here. Where's my, there's some Terra Rosa. So yeah, MTEL's, now do the city-states, do they also have some cav? I think they all have some hoplites and just general infantry, right, right, MTEL's? There we go. Again, let the oils do the mixing for you. Let the oils do the blending for you. Why sit there and make yourself have to do all that extra work? Now we're back to some of our darker blue here. That's the ultramarine and some of the indigo there. I'm going to try and sharpen up some edges too. We need more of a horizon line there. Let's see, so the big boys are going to be minotaurs for now, but then some big old giant monsters coming out soon. Actually, that's the other thing that I'm really kind of bummed about, is that I could have taken all of these miniatures, because the reason why we got into the Conquest stuff in the first place was that they obviously, we met them at Adepticon, and they sent the stuff here. And sadly, I won't be able to see them at Adepticon. Here, let's. Although it was nice that the Wardoon actually, what was that, the December painting contest or whatever. Was it the Apex Predator? That's the big guy for the Wardoon, I think. I don't know if they have other ones in addition to that. Hey Megan, how you doing? And of course, Megan, if you haven't had a chance to post your link tree in the chat there, please go ahead and do so. And everybody, please give Megan Paints a follow. And of course, MTEL's, I know you rattled off, was it something like $125,000 worth of prize money over all of those MetaZoo tournaments that you guys are doing? So if you want to let people know about all the different MetaZoo stuff. And let me see, oh here, let's get that darker blue back over there. Hey Queez! So Queez, I hope that the game went well. I saw the one picture that you sent. I was hoping that the rest of the game went really well for you. Although I don't know, maybe at this point you'll just say, well, at least I got a chance to play the darn game. Okay, let's get a little bit of our dark blue on the edge of this. We're gonna, oh yeah, here, let's get up here. Put a little bit more of the dark into that. This actually needs some reflected light there too. Oh geez, you got to play 2 of them today. That's, wow, that's, talk about the cup runneth over. That's fantastic. I'm really glad you actually got a chance to play a couple of games. Yeah, Arda Michael, that's a rumor that I hear. That rumor is not true in this neck of the woods. I was hoping that it would be, especially since we got stuff that we can play games with here. Let me see if I can't get a little here of the lighter blue reflected down there and down here too. Hey AD, how you doing? Everybody please also give AD Creations a follow. And AD, if you wanted to post your links there in the chat, that would be fantastic. Better get some of the, yeah, that mid-tone or light along the edge there. I'm going to go back to even more. My light right here. We'll just use this as our blending brush again. You can see we've got this hard edge there. A little bit of tap, tap, tap. And the hard edge is gone. It's all blended away. Thanks AD, it's been the last time I painted any kind of 40K stuff on stream was this, basically a year ago. I didn't even realize it. And I went, huh, I think it has been about a year or so since I last had a chance to do that. Let me see if we can throw some lights up here on some of these upper surfaces. So can everybody please check out AD Creations as well. And here's where we really start to get some sharpness to the armor. Get these couple of rivets over here. And we'll obviously have to do the little diodes in his eyes as well. I think we can do that. Oh, and by the way, this is only 1 hour, 9 minutes in. 1 hour, 9 minutes ago, there was no paint on this. It was just primer. That's the magic and the power of the oil paints. Getting things done nice and quick. And of course, we'll get to our freehand stuff too. Catching some of these edges with our lighter colors here. There's some panel lines in here too. We don't want to forget about the panel lines. There's one right here. Now, I think we're all caught up. Yes, we are caught up. So I hope that people had themselves a really, really nice Saturday. And hopefully people are still going to have themselves a nice Sunday. Maybe get some more games in. Or painting. or both. Both would be fantastic. Again, now able to start to make these round surfaces, that nice little glint along the edges. And then we have a whole bunch of little panel lines here. A whole bunch of these guys to do. Now they stand out. Even this one has some panel lines. So for the base here, that's the Green Stuff World texture roller. I forget which one that is, like one of their industrial ones. And then these are some Make It Epic basing bits here. That's actually a piece of plastic card right here. And bulletin board cork also. That's what everything's kind of sitting on top of, is the bulletin board cork. And this was part of a basing tutorial that I did for the Patreon page. We were trying out a bunch of the different Make It Epic basing bits. We were using Sculpey. So trying a bunch of different materials. And here's another. Where's our Howling Griffin? He's somewhere, he is. So this was the triple hex roller on the, again, the bulletin board cork, and then more of those 3D printed basing bits from Make It Epic. We did Ruined Concrete. Actually, we'll have to get some of our different colors on there too. Also have to remember to get in here with some of my rust on the base. And I think, yeah, maybe we will try to get some of our lightest light here on the shoulder pads. Can hit this here. And now that I've found these files again, I know where they're at, and I can print more of them. We can try and do a Space Marine army painting series, because I have some Terminators, I have the Intercessor, the Blade Guard veteran, so we can do a few different things. Let me see if I can get the fluorescent orange and our red together here for the eyes. So yeah, that was one of my tests of making my own texture paste, was using the spackle, the tile grout. That has really worked very well. Arno Michael, I have no idea who made these. These were some sculpts that Dano passed along to me a long time ago, so unfortunately I have no idea who makes these. And it's possible that they don't have them for sale, given how close they are, right? Hey Mikey, nice to see ya. Here, let me just get this chunk out of the brush then. Come back into this. Some of the radiant yellow and our red here, I think. It has to be just thick enough, but not too thick. Just gotta get a little more light there. There we go. So yeah, Mikey, it's well, I think you saw the, where did he go? Yeah, here he is. This is the Howling Griffin that I did for the latest chapter studies video, and I realized it had been basically a year, seriously a year, since I last painted Space Marines on the channel here. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and do that. Then I just happen to have some of these ready to go. Let me do a little something here with this. I'll just let that mix in with the bluish gray that's already there. Actually, here's some of that perline black. Actually, that Nessie, did I have perline black when I did the... I think I had already had perline black when I did the Dark Angel, didn't I? I could swear that was... Yeah, because we did perline black as a pre-glaze for Blood Angel, so I'm sure I must have had it for the Dark Angel as well. Yeah, there we go. So getting a little reflected light here now on the bolter. And this will just look like a grayish color. It's not going to look green or anything like that. But again, perline black, that is a very, very dark green. Now, I hope that that was helpful on the Dark Angels, and hopefully there was some other things after the Dark Angels that you were able to use it on. That I really enjoy the heck out of that perline perline black. It's it used to be a printer's ink for the longest time. Well, I guess it might still be a printer's ink, but then it became started to become popular as a paint color. Where's my blending brush here? I'll just use this. There we go. Let me see if we can get a little bit of reflected light down here. Thank you so much, Grumdy. You have yourself a good night's sleep. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And I hope that you have yourself a good day tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great day tomorrow. Let me see here. We'll just... Now let's toss a little bit of freehand on here. Nothing fancy. Oh, let me get my little reference here that I know I've got. Say, there we go. Keeping this very simple. Marking it off in a few places. And of course, I always recommend that if you're going to be doing freehand, you draw it several times, not on the miniature, just again to get that muscle memory. So 80, yeah, unfortunately it could sound a little bit weird for weeks yet to go. That's how it is with the colds. You never quite know when it's finally just going to act normal. And like I said, that Adepticon 4 years ago, it was well into May, and I still sounded not fantastic, even all the way into May. Hey, Doji and Thranuel, nice to see ya. I mean, of course, it's no fun or anything like that. It's just, well, it's one of the reasons why I try very, very, very hard to avoid things like colds in the first place, because we know what the consequences will be. No voice for quite some time. And as you can see now, we can start to throw some lighter color into our ultramarine symbol here. And ironically enough, Kathy had already given me something before we ever got there, and then it just got worse at Adepticon, because I had no choice to keep talking. I had to basically shout over everybody, and that led to the voice being so destroyed it took almost 2 months for it to recover. Just listen to some of the videos that I recorded during that time. If you listen to those, you know exactly what it sounded like. So yeah, there's always lots of interesting things floating around at conventions, that's for sure. Let me see if I can expand this out a little bit further this way. And then we actually have to let that set there for a while, and then we can come back and we can actually do some more. I'll expand on the bottom of that a little bit. So Thranduil, hopefully you've kind of been able to get the mind around the adjustment that will have to be made. And again, really sorry about that. There, I'm going to cut down on that a little bit too. There we go. This is the nifty thing about the oils when you're doing the freehand. It is incredibly easy to make adjustments to it and such. I'm glad. Now, yeah, Mikey, well, basically my strategy for conventions always is that I only eat things that are in wrappers, so that I don't ever have to have my hands touch that food. Because you can try and wash your hands as much as you want. Eventually, something's going to happen where you touch something, and then you touch that food, and then you eat it, and then you're toast, you are gone. And that sometimes that means going a long time without any food, but that generally worked. Oh yeah, KF Envy. Well, last year for Adepticon, Armored Wolf had the brilliant idea for that little speaker thing that I could just wear on my belt. And that was pretty miraculous. I was able to basically easily subdue any other voices in the room just by cranking that up a little bit. Hopefully, Mikey, you'll be able to get through those conventions in one piece, or mostly in one piece. Let me see here. I'm going to get this. Again, this is the Ultramarine Blue from Williamsburg. Let's see what we can do with this over here. There's some raggedness we need to resolve here. There, a little bit more here too. Again, that's the darker blue. Let me see if I can, there we go. The helmet there just got too light too quickly. You know what, I think I can get a little bit more of a mid-tone blue under here. Let me see if we can sneak something in right there. Just a touch. Now, oh yeah, over here too. Let's not forget this. We need reflected light over here. Actually, in a couple of spots there. Yeah, let's come back in here one more time. Lighten this up along this edge here. Where's my blending brush? Here, we'll just use this thing. A little bit of tap, 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 and it expands that line into a shape. And again, 1 hour 27 minutes ago, there was no paint on this whatsoever. And now we've even done part of the freehand too. It happens very quickly. If you blink, you will miss something, that's for sure. And you notice I keep working around. I mentioned I don't just stay in one spot, laboring over just one area. We also need to do a little something here with these things. They got a little bit rough. I might actually, where's my brilliant yellow pale? Here we go. Hopefully you can see this. Looks like you can. There. Now we also want to get some of the rust effect down here on the base. Let me see if we can do this very quickly here with Terra Rosa. Don't really have my usual brown matter out on the palette. We'll just go with what we have here. Plenty of thinner. And then all we're going to do is just tap that. That's it. See, no, don't really have any of the brown matter. We'll just use some of our Naphthol red. Some of our Van Dyke brown. Let me see, I think, so yeah, the Adepticon, well, let's see, even last year, the Saturday into Sunday was basically an all-nighter, because with the class starting so early Sunday morning, and I had to break down everything in Fort Wappel on that Saturday night, and even pack some of it into the vehicle before the next morning. Yeah, there won't be any more Sunday classes, that's for sure. No more Sunday morning classes. That happened once, that's never happening again. Now this is our darker rust here that we're doing. We just have to now wait, right, for that stuff to set. But you can see how it already starts to set the marine off of the base there. A little bit of color contrast. Now over here. Oh, we can just do this real simple. And usually there's some kind of insignia on this shoulder pad, so there's not a whole lot of reason to have to worry so much about shading on these shoulders. And of course we don't, the more paint you pile up on that shoulder pad, the more it's going to take, more effort it's going to take to be able to do your little iconography here on the shoulders. And now that was the crazy lesson that we learned about Golden Demon last year, is if you're going to do any iconography on Space Marines or whatever, you better have it be totally 100% official. Because if it's anything that's not official, well, I mean, they'll let you enter anything, but if you want to win things, it's going to have to all be absolutely 100% official GW stuff. No made-up Space Marine chapters or anything like that. Which is unfortunate, that's for sure. So blades, well, let's see, it's 137 there. Do you think you'll be able to get back to sleep, or do you think Cooper's going to be keeping you awake for a while? Actually, here, let me move this even further this way. And this go the other direction. Here, let me get a little bit more of the blue on there. Can't love being able to make all of the fabulous changes with the oil paints to freehand. It is incredibly easy. And then we'll be going back into that with our much lighter white, but for now, I'll just leave that as it is. We'll let that set. It's not going to dry, it will set. Might even throw a little smidge of the blue right here. So it's back to the Indian yellow, I think. Yeah, let's get some Indian yellow here. Maybe even a little bit of the Terra Rosa. And a blending brush, there you are. And all that get blended together. Nice and easy. Yeah, KF Envy, I think, you know, if you're doing 3D printed basing bits, that might be okay, especially if they don't know what they are. But any sort of 3D printed things, that's just asking for, again, if you just want to enter it and don't care, then that's no big deal. Just have some fun entering it. But if you're looking to win things, again, found out the hard way last year that it's got to be all official GW stuff. All official GW iconography and everything. It would be one thing if it just was posted as official rules instead of the unwritten rule. That's always the thing that's going to bother me most, is unwritten rules. I'm just going to get a little bit more on my, there we go, right there. And this too, I think, here, that's the Indian yellow, some of the Van Dyke brown. Sharpen up that edge there too. Let's see if I can't get a little bit more of the Indian yellow into this dark right here. And you know, actually a little Indian yellow here. Good, we still have some of the fluorescent orange left viable from last night. So Megan wasn't sure if you'll be heading off to sleep soon, because I know it's been a long day for you. Hey Cisco, how you doing? Nice to see you back. Thank you so much for being here, of course. There we go, a little bit of orange there and some here. Let's get some onto, there we go. Maybe a little smidge there. And this I need more of an amber on this thing. Hey Sarge, glad that you're back home. Thanks so much. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's actually been a year since I last painted a Space Marine on the stream. That really wasn't the intention. Again, now part of it is I'm doing the chapter studies on the Patreon page already. But it would be fun to be able to do some, well, made-up chapter schemes here on the channel like we did our Marines last year. Let me, you know, I'll just take the, again, that's the Radiant Violet here. Let that mix with some of our, well, basically gold. Yeah, that was, it's hilarious, because I think one of the very first Adepticons I was ever at, I remember seeing it was the team tournament, and it was a Howling Griffins chapter, and they had basically hockey jerseys that were done up like this, I believe, which was really nifty. Yeah, and it's funny, there is, as you see, there was definitely some blue in our Ukraine Marines, and then we also had the yellow going too. Yellow / gold, I suppose. Thank you so much. Yusoka Howat, thank you so much. And along comes Ganov and he says, that's a really interesting thing you got there. It's like, yeah, you know, if New Line Cinema didn't demand that they look exactly like they did in the movies, you might have had one of these things too. It's like, huh. Tell you, I wish I had one of those for fighting the Balrog. It's like, oh, so that glow stick and the kitchen knife don't really work so well. It's like, nope, gonna die. Thank you so much for that follow, Howl. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was so much fun to kind of work through the color scheme on those guys. And I think, oh yeah, we did 5 of them. I still, it would still be fun to elaborate some more on that, make some regular Marines. I think those, what, Blade Guard veterans that I did. Especially now that I've got these printable Marines here. Again, I wish I knew who made them. I'll have to ask Dano and see if he remembers. AD, I'm glad that you had yourself a good print there. I still haven't had a chance to print anything yet in weeks since all this craziness started with her reaction to the treatment and such. Let's see, there's some more light down here I've got to try and do. Get a little bit of reflected light down in here. Yeah, a little something. So AD, now is it another large print, or Are you kind of bouncing back and forth between larger prints, smaller prints? Where's my Prussian blue here? I'm going to try some of that here on the muzzle. We need to sort of darken the edge of this. Oh, this is the other hilarious thing. I remember talking about it, I think on the Howling Griffin. Now, I know people, they get kind of crazy about the hollowing out or drilling out the ends of your bolters. The one nice thing about these files is that they're already drilled out. So that is another thing I don't have to deal with or hear people say, why didn't you drill out the ends of the bolters? My response was because I did not have time to do that. But boy, people would really get very uptight about the bolters not being drilled out. That would not be me. That sounds really fun, AD. Now, is that going to be the next big painting project for streaming? And of course, again, if you wanted to post your links there to some of your stuff on Instagram and such, that would be fantastic. Yeah, Doji, that was a real surprise. Just there was some people that were really intense about it. I mean, that would be a deal breaker for them if you did not have the if you didn't have those barrels drilled out. Now here on these casings, we need to. There, that's better. And we're just a little too much light on those. You know, I'm gonna have to go back here. Okay, with this dark first, and then come back with my light here. I think, yeah. Maybe we'll just stick with some real yellow pale there. Yeah. Oh, now I think it was yesterday or today. I almost said Signum, but it was a Lazy Squire Games. They sent me the Wappelius file. I will try to get that one printed up tomorrow. Maybe I'll actually just do that as a painting video or something. And instead of painting them on stream. I don't know, we'll see how that goes. So everybody, again, please check out AD Creations links there. And then again, give AD Creations a follow. Now let's see if we can start to lighten up this shoulder insignia. Again, we had to give it a little while to set. You can see that's much lighter than it was. And again, thank you, Armored Wolf, for posting a link to the Patreon page. As we've mentioned a couple of times, I do have a series of videos on the Patreon page called Chapter Studies. And that's where we go through spending an entire episode just on one Space Marine chapter. Go through all of the iconography. And I kind of give you an idea of how you might be able to paint a whole bunch of them, not just that one Marine. So you can see how we're able to get much more of that light. Before it was very difficult, right, to have it look light at all. Actually, yeah, Doji, well, that's why I really want to get to these guys here, so that we can experiment with lots of browns and oranges. And so orange brown, we don't usually get a chance to do that very much. I just haven't had a chance to get those guys on their bases yet. And we'll, yeah, here, see if we can tighten up the edges of the infantry arrow or tactical marking there. So Doji, there's a few of the dark sword videos I know that are into more of the yellows and yellow browns. And I'm trying to think if there's an army painting series that also dives into that. But actually, there's probably some color theory and oils actually that might be good for that as well. Alright, now we'll lighten up this just like we did on the other side. And not putting too much thinner on that brush. And it's been sort of a stippling type of a brush stroke, I think you can see. Ironically enough, we did back in the day have to paint an awful lot of Ultramarine commission stuff between the two of us. A bunch of Marines, a bunch of vehicles. I think we even had to do a drop pod, or was that a salamander drop pod? Okay, so you can see that's getting lighter and lighter there. It maintains its shading though, right? Because we want it to get darker in the shadow area here. Get a little bit of a tap, tap, tap here, sort of a stippling effect, because we want the paint that's on the shoulder pad already to mix with the paint that's on the brush. That softens the edge. So there you go. There's your shading on that. Now let me see, what did we do for the, okay, so we did go with more of a gold-ish look. I guess we can do that on this guy too, maybe. Not that you can see very much of it. You can just see this little part of the aquila here. And just a tiny, tiny bit over here. Let me see if I can lighten this up too. Oh, actually, Doji, since it's Sunday, does that mean that there's a bakery trip that might be on order here? Just mostly just because I'm hungry and I would like to think about bakeries. Hey there, Nurgle Matthew, how you doing? It's great to see you again. So not quite a Nurgle Marine, but at least it is a Space Marine. It's the first time we painted a Space Marine in almost, well, actually basically a year since we did these guys on the channel last March. Oh yeah, I better get my little line of light there. I think all this actually needs to be a little bit lighter here. Let me get the rest of this. We have to solidify this line too. Ah, breakfast is already over. Well, yeah, it's not going to be, well, let's see, what time is it here? It's 12:56, so 1 o'clock, so 8 o'clock. Yeah, lunch is not that far away. I'm already hungry for lunch, actually. Well, Doji, you have yourself a good one. Thanks as always for being here. Appreciate that. These up here, we gotta do some stuff on the power pack there. Get most of the radiant blue here, then we'll get into some of the fast matte white too. Well, let's see what we can do with this first. And still not 2 hours in. This is still just 1 hour and 51 minutes. So I'm thinking that, and of course, if we were doing these, well, a whole bunch at once, it would take even less time to paint each one. Of course, would have loved having the oils years and years ago when we were painting Space Marines on a regular basis. That would have been nice. That could have made things a lot easier. Do I need to, yeah, I better do the same thing over here too. Just a little smidge there, and then we also have to start thinking about, again, the reflections on these. I think we better really get a strong light on this end here. Well, we never did do this. Let me see if I can do this. This bit right here. Yeah, somehow that just got skipped. That makes a difference. We'll probably have to throw some of our dark back onto that too. Oh, here, let me get that brilliant yellow pale out of the brush. So, bench guy, again, sorry that you're not feeling 100%, but I do hope you can still have yourself a really fun birthday. Get some of my light over here too. Maybe a bit there. No, that would be way too light. Let's see what we can do with this. This is hopefully more of a mid-tone. Guess we can lighten up this side a little bit too. I don't know, let me go the opposite way here. Let me come back with some more darker blue here. Again, that's for the most part, just the straight up Williamsburg Ultramarine blue. Maybe we'll have to, maybe I have to add some of the indigo to that to darken that a little more. Okay, there's some decent dark. Maybe I'll come back with. Is that just? Yeah, it's about as light as I want that to get. Use this as a blending brush, I suppose. Any brush can be a blending brush. See, we'll take that shape and we're going to expand it, soften the edges of it. See what I can do here for some of my lightest lights now. again, look where my hand is on this brush. It's practically closer to the back of the brush than to the front of the brush. And that's why, unfortunately, those the Lethal Shadows brushes with all that extra weight, because of them being metal, that just makes it not terribly practical. See if I can get some more lights on this bolter housing before I come back in. Maybe even with some more darks too. So let me do this first. Straighten this thing out. Oh, there we go. That was all kinds of messed up there. I suppose we'll lighten up this too. It is definitely a different kind of experience painting the Space Marines with the oils after all of those ones painted with the acrylics. Thank you so much, Bench Guy. Appreciate that. Oh, well, I'm glad you're able to get that 3D printer, Bench Guy. And here's hoping that it's very easy to get that all locked in. I'll be right there with you, trying to set up that new Mono X here, and trying to get that to print out things. So AD, again, we hold the brush back here because the whole idea is to have a very light touch on the brush, especially with the oil paints. It's crucial. And those things, it was basically like trying to paint with a telephone pole. That was way too much extra weight. And other folks, again, when your hand is way back here and you don't have this death grip on the front of the brush. Also, too, that there's that weird shape on the front right here. I'm used to this more of a narrow profile. That was a really huge, giant profile on the end of the brush there. Now again, for other folks, they might work out fine because they don't have their hand where mine is. But if your hand is back here and you're trying to get a very delicate touch with that brush, it is extremely difficult with all that extra weight. They weigh a ton. They didn't need to weigh quite so much. So yeah, KF Envy, I do actually have an old Ender 3 sitting in the basement that I never had a chance to set up. There's no room for it. It's mostly the making sure that you can get the settings down, because setting up the printer is definitely one thing, but getting it to cooperate with all of your different whatever resins that you're using, that can be, and then of course even just the environment, where settings that work for somebody else are never going to work here, and settings that might work here are not going to work somewhere else. Now, yeah, Bench Guy, we're really hoping that she can get herself much better. Now, there is a delay in the next treatment, which is not ideal. That's not a good thing, because that messes up a whole bunch of other stuff down the road. But especially, again, given the reaction that last round, I think we just needed a little more recovery time. Let me see if I'm going to get my darkest dark here again. A couple of places, especially here. Maybe even a touch right there. Oh, here, let's not forget to add that Ultramarine to it. I'm going to tighten up an edge here too. Like so. This one too. So we just now have crossed into the 2-hour mark on this, and I think you can just see how easy it is, right? And how easy the oils make this. Let me see if I can. I think I still need to get some intense darks on the underside of this here. I didn't really do that before. Now let me see if we can get some lighter rust here. That'll be more just straight up Terra Rosa. Let me see if I can... Oh, so yeah, here, this is... yeah, this is a really weird shape on the end of the brush here. And again, this weighs a ton. That is a whole lot of extra weight there. So Dave, this is all a one-piece thing. It's a one-piece print, just like the Howling Griffin was here. All of these are one-piece prints. The backpack, everything, all is printed. Is one singular file. Wouldn't matter anyway, even if it was separate. I would just glue it together, because the oils, it's the other nifty thing that they can do for you, is make it nice and easy to be able to get it hard to reach areas and even do a little bit of blending there. Now let's get our little numeral in here, because I think that might just be set enough to put a little bit of a numeral right there. Where did he go? Oh, here he is. So yeah, we'll just do something like that. I think you could see this. And yes, all of this is wet oil paint on top of wet oil paint. Okay, there's top of it. It's the bottom. And then we'll have to thicken up these two lines. There's one. And there you go. Very simple. Hey, surface tension, how you doing? It must be 1:09 in the morning here, because surface tension has arrived. So how you doing there, surface tension? Wasn't sure if you've had a chance to walk the hound yet. But hopefully all is well. You know what, I'm going to just go back here. This is the somewhat warmer gray. That's better. Yeah, that had a whole bunch of nothing there. Where's my blending brush? Let me get at this thing. There you go. And now we'll take, we're going to try to expand that light a little bit further. I think that's just too, yeah, that ends a little bit too abruptly. Here again, I'll take this blending brush here, basically take the end of that, and see, we're just going to sort of smear that along here. Yep, the same thing. I'm just going to take that. Don't actually have to do any new brush strokes there. Well, Irid, I hope that works out. Again, I don't want to jinx you or anything like that, but I sure do hope that works out for you just fine. A little bit of light there. Now, what about this? Oh, I see what that is. All right, let me take this. Hopefully, this is just light enough. Okay, I think that will work. And then we have to do the same on this side. I think that just about works there. Now let me see if I can do one last little bit of tightening up on that area here. Taking this dark. And I think, okay, I think that's just about it. Ooh, I see we need to get our little bits of light here on the edge of these vents. Here to the fast matte white. Again, we thin it down, but it can't be too thin down. That becomes a pinline wash. It's just going to sink right down into the crevice here. You want it to actually sit right there on the edge of that. Speaking of some more light here, lighten up those rivets and that edge just a touch more. That is just a weird kind of splotchy line. We're going to either turn that into a better line or more of a shape. I just turned it into a shape there. And that takes care of those lines there too. Let me just grab a cough drop real quick here. Alright, you know what? I would like to have a little more reflected light on the bottom of his hand here. Just right in that spot. I mean, this is basically a cylinder here, so we have to treat it as such. That's why we have to have these bands of light and dark. We also should have some kind of mid-tone right in there. Nah, I don't like that so much. We'll just get rid of some of that. Reorganize that a little bit. You know what? Maybe we will let that get to be almost a little bit of like a green here or something. Why? Because all this blue is reflecting onto that gold, which, well, kind of is going to turn it a bit green. We'll do the same over here then. Same idea right there. I'm going to see if I can take here. This is the brilliant yellow pale, some of the radiant violet, and I'm going to see if I can't get the edge of this housing formed up a little bit more. We got the opening in that chamber here. And I'm not quite sure what we will do here. We'll do something. We'll just have some sort of lettering on here. Just a quick little something here. And I don't know, I was thinking about having that be as more of a glowing diode here. At least I have some sorry, I have some of the orange left here. That's my fluorescent orange from last night. And maybe we'll let a little bit of that reflect its way here too. Yeah. Hey Elite, how you doing? Nice to see ya. Boy, Elite, it was weird to all of a sudden think that it had been that long since I last did these things. Over, well, basically, I don't know if it was over a year, but pretty darn close to it. Because I remember finishing up the rest of them for Adepticon last year. What are we going to do here? Also trying to make that a little bit more of an orange there. Maybe the same up here. There we go. See, that's a little bit of extra warmth to separate it from all the blue that's there. Boy, Elite, I really hope that stuff like this does give people ideas for things. Something that they could try and do on their own stuff. Maybe it answers just a question. They've been wondering, well, how the heck do I do this or that thing? And it would be really fantastic if that maybe answered a question, gave them a solution. Now this is that green we were talking about here. I don't know how much lighter I want that to be necessarily. Maybe we'll just see if I can get the radiant green. Here's some radiant green left. I don't want to get too light. A little bit right there. Boy, oh boy, painting power cables again. Now there's something that I haven't done in quite some time. And it used to be a day that ends in Y as far as me having to do stuff like that. You know what? Let me grab this blending brush here. So here we got another situation where that's more of a line. And I'm just going to do a little bit of tap, tap, tap here, right on the end of that. And what that does is it just softens that up a little bit. His boot here. Oh, yeah, same over here. We got a... Yeah, that was looking way too rough. Now, what I need to do somehow is actually sneak a little more reflected light over here somehow. I mean, that's, let's go with something like this, maybe. I'm going to throw a little more thinner. Okay, there we go. So we did that. Now we'll get this blending brush again. Like so. And you can see this line right here. It's got that hard edge to it. You can see how that really gets softened up. It's more like a suggestion of a line rather than a super hard line. Something like this, not too bad, because that's going to try and provide a little center of interest here and raise that edge up just a bit. And that's what we're looking to do there. Oh gee, there's another light edge that I somehow missed. Right here on this cowling. Alright, let's do this. Oh, I think there was actually a raid maybe just as I was about to do this. Yes, there was. And we do appreciate all of the raids. That's what makes Twitch really sensational. And we just kind of share the love, share the audience. So much more fun than YouTube, where that does not happen. It's a very different environment there. You know what? Let me see if I can get a little bit of this. So that's the ultramarine blue here. That's mostly just our pre-glaze right there. Now this is somewhere in between. Because while it was lighter there, it also unfortunately wasn't really separating from the color of the bolter. Oh, wait, a little bit lighter here maybe on the underside of that knee. We could use some more light over here too. Oh, that's of the reflected variety, of course. That can't all be dark in here either. Alright, there's some light there. Alright, and some light here. And then, oh boy, we need to do something over here. I don't know, let me see if I can reflect a little light on this. And then there's a couple extra pieces of the shoulder pad here. Let me see if I can come back in with my dark. This is that warmer dark. Let me see. Okay, well, Jared, you have a good one. Thank you so much. Appreciate the raid. Appreciate everything. Okay, a touch of our dark there. Yeah, we go back to this. Tidy up that one edge over there on the on the black. Sticking with our dark blue here. That's indigo. Okay, that helps that edge. And the same on that side. Okay, there's some of that ultramarine blue. And again, we used a lot of this on those Armada ships, the Northern Alliance ships. You can check those out. Again, those are just saved as highlights like all the other episodes here. Sort of like a YouTube channel. I'm looking at this, okay, I'm going to let that edge get a little bit darker on this side. Darken this down some more too. Maybe even the helmet here. Darken down that side. I'm tempted to try and throw a little more light over here, or mid-tone or something here. Let me see what this will do here. It might be too light, I don't know. Right over here, over the eye slit. Just the tiniest bit of it right there. Okay, that's good enough. And I might even throw a little bit of reflected light on that part of his helmet. It's been 3 hours, 10 minutes now. And it is 2:15 here in the morning. I want to make sure I can try and preserve the voice here. So let me see who else is out here doing stuff. Well, let's see. That's not going to work. I think Corvus Oculum might actually be painting. Just wanted to be double checking. Thank you so much, Bithron. Appreciate that. And thanks for doing the, of course, thanks for doing the clips. Appreciate that. And of course, thanks for all the subs and the cheers and the bits and the follows. We appreciate those, of course. Thanks also to Armored Wolf for being the bestest moderator on the Twitch there. For sure, everybody please check out Armored Wolf and Armored Wolf Productions on Instagram and Etsy. You know what, I think I will go with some light right there. And again, that's there you go. I don't want to say instant Space Marine, but that's, again, 3 hours. That's a pretty quick Space Marine right there for having some fun with freehand and such. And lots of reflected light and our non-metallic metal too.